Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my craft room. This week we are starting week 2 of crafting for November and crafting for Thanksgiving, and I have quite the lineup of crafts to do for you today. I hope this inspires you in some way. Let me know what you're crafting at your craft table as well. If you missed last week's video, I will place a little link to it. We started crafting last week for November and Thanksgiving. I loved how those crafts turned out, and I hope you did as well. So let's go ahead and get started on this week's set of crafts. Be sure to give this a thumbs up if you are ready to go. As a reminder, everything that you see used on my craft table will be linked down in the description box below this video. Let's go ahead and get started on the first craft. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video because not only do I have 9 crafts, but they are a little bit more involved. So go ahead and pour yourself something nice and warm and yummy. It is November after all, if you are living in a cooler area. But let's go ahead and get started and let's just slow down and really have fun crafting. The first thing I'm going to do is decorate this cute little tray that I found at the Target dollar spot, and of course it was one of their $5 items. They have $1, $3, and $5 items, and I'm going to just put a little piece of adhesive vinyl right on here just to have it all sweet and decorated for Thanksgiving and or November. So I am going to weed out this pretty little design that I purchased, and I will be sure as always to link all the materials as well as links to the designs that I'm using down in the description box below in case you want to purchase any of the designs or any of the materials for yourself. So this says be thankful. I really like it. I really was drawn to the font. Of course, I do not have font information because this is an SVG, but it's just so pretty. I thought it was really nice, and I've had it saved for quite a while now. And once I saw this really pretty tray, I knew it was the perfect little option for this design. So isn't that pretty? I really like it. I'm going to grab some transfer tape really quickly, and then we are simply going to apply this beautiful design down to this nice long tray. Okay, so I have most of my design covered with this transfer tape. It'll be just a little shy, but that's okay. And I am going to just reveal about 1.5 inches. Given that it's a really long design, sometimes it's a little bit easier to apply the transfer tape gradually than all at once. So if you just put about 1.5 inches down, then you have a little lip here that you can pull, and then you can gradually lay down the rest. Oops, I should have centered that a little bit better so I got that L all the way on there, but that's okay, I can manage. So I'm gonna take my scraper really quickly and I'll burnish down the front and the back, allowing myself to really transfer this design right over to the transfer tape so we can successfully take it from that carrier sheet. Okay, there we go. And beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna place this down. Now, vinyl is not food safe, so this is not something that you would want to place food on, but I thought this was just a nice, beautiful piece of decor to be used otherwise. So let me get this as centered as I can. I'm thinking that looks pretty nice to me. So I bring it over to the right just a little bit. Okay, so once that has been decided as in placement, I kind of like to just run through with my finger really quickly. And now that I've done that, I am going to be very mindful to be very careful with my scraper and really not, have it come into contact with any exposed vinyl, because it's really easy to snag it and rip it if it doesn't have transfer tape over it. So if you end up having a little bit of exposed vinyl, that's totally fine. It's pretty easy to transfer if you just have a little bit left on the side, but just try to avoid the scraper part on it because I find that to be a little tricky, and it can quickly snag and just be a stinker. So you don't want to ruin your project at the very end. Okay, so you could also always just avoid that by sizing your transfer tape appropriately. Now this little tray is kind of textured a little bit, so it's doing fine. I was a little nervous on how it would lay down, but it's actually doing really well. I'm going to monitor and just bring my scraper in when needed. But you know what? That's doing wonderful. Just lay down anything that needs a little nudge. And I'll just press that down. Oh, I love the contrast. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Now, I did purchase this a little while ago, and I can't really remember exactly when, but I'm not sure they will have this still at the little dollar spot at Target, but I'm sure you can find something very similar here and there. Okay, moving this last little bit. Whoop. And then again, of course, you can just go right back through. I'm not really worried about, you know, the areas that pulled up. I can just press them down with my finger. This is not something that's ever going to get wet or washed. So once it's down, it's good to go. Okay, so I think that that looks really pretty. It's something that will just serve as a really nice piece of decor for Thanksgiving. And even if not for Thanksgiving, you can definitely just decorate for fall with this. And I spoke to this in my last Thanksgiving video that came out last week. And if you missed that, I'll link it right up in the corner for you. But I prefer decorating mainly for fall. And then I bring in a few Thanksgiving little trinkets here and there. And I love doing that because I feel like you can just expand and have your decor go a little bit further and it can stay out a little bit longer. So I mainly decorate for fall and then bring in a few Thanksgiving specific items. And I love how this turned out. So let's go ahead and begin our second little craft of the evening. And I can't wait to see how the next one turns out. Okay, for my next little craft, I purchased this really neat slatted sign, if you will. It's called a wall plaque. I did purchase it last year. It's a Christmas item, but there's nothing Christmassy about it, so you could definitely use this for any time of year. And it was in the Christmas 2021 collection, but you can find things like this all of the time. So I really love items like this. However, I've spoken to this plenty of times on my channel that I often find that I struggle sometimes with them when I bring them home because sometimes it's hard when applying vinyl. So what I normally do, and you've seen me do it time and time again, is I use items like this because I love them so much, but I layer on them. And so I have this little infusible ink metal sheet that I tend to use with adhesive vinyl more because I just like the look of it, and I haven't really been inspired too much with how to use it with infusible ink. So not that you can't, but it just hasn't inspired me quite directly with its intended purpose. So I'm going to just weed out a really nice design. Again, all the things that I'm using, if I can find them, will be linked down below. But I found this really pretty design that I'd saved, just kind of waiting for the right craft to do it on. And this ended up being the perfect opportunity to use it. So I'm going to begin weeding this out, and then we can decorate the little metal sheet and then place it right on this little wall plaque is what they call it, or this little wooden sign, and really dress it up. Okay, so this beautiful design says "Gather with a Grateful Heart." It is so pretty. I just loved it. And so again, I saved it for the exact project that I thought it would be perfect for. And I was trying to think of other things to do with this project. This is about 5 by 7 in size. So I kind of went back and forth with a couple of things. And then when I grabbed this SVG, I placed it and it just worked. The size of it just worked really nice. Of course, I sized it for my project, but the shape of it, it just was perfect for this very nice 5 by 7 blank that we're going to place it on. So now I'm just going to go through and grab the rest of my little middle pieces. Now you also can make a lot of these different colors. In fact, in the project listing, or I'm sorry, the SVG listing, they have a really pretty color combination that was really inspirational, but I decided just to do all of it in one color just because I thought it would just be really nice for this project. But if you are placing this on just a, white colored blank, I think it would be really pretty to bring in a variety of colors. Okay, finishing up, and then I need to remove the film from my little metal piece here. And let's see if we can get all of these little pieces off my thumb. They just stick everywhere. Okay, so now let's see. I believe, is there adhesive or not adhesive? It's like a protective film on both sides. Now, because I'm not doing infusible ink, it doesn't really matter which side I'm using, but I do want to remove the film from both sides because, well, obviously one side will have adhesive vinyl, but the other side is going to have, being careful not to scratch this, is going to have an adhesive on there, and I would really prefer the adhesive to meet the actual metal and not a film. Okay, so peeling this off. Oh, it is really on there, isn't it? Okay. Goodness gracious. Well, goodness, that is really on there. Wow. Okay, and then I'll do the other side. Ooh, that was much better. Well, was I not supposed to? I think I was. Well, doesn't matter for this project. Okay, so, okay, sorry, it is very late here while I am beginning this video, so if I get a little tongue-tied, whew, it's just time for Mama to go to bed. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this vinyl. Okay, and transfer tape, and just like last time, burnishing the front and the back. Before we even go further, this is just bothering my eye because it is not Christmas. So I feel like it's pressuring me to skip a holiday. I don't want to skip a holiday. Okay, so let's grab this transfer tape and, oh, not all of it. Okay, let's turn it all the way over and do one more on the back, and then we'll place it right down. Now, I'm going to just do one at a time here because I don't want it to mess with my eye. Okay, and let's see how we did with the burnishing. Perfection. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's see. I love the white on the metal. I think it's so pretty. So I think there, oh, I think it's a winner. Okay, so I will just burnish that down. Make sure there's no bubbles. Really make sure it's on there. Oh, I like that. It's pretty. And again, this does not scream Thanksgiving. So if you wanted this to just be fall decor or all year round decor, I think this is beautiful for a dining room because we shouldn't just gather with a grateful heart for Thanksgiving dinner, right? We should gather with a grateful heart every day. I love this. Okay, so there we are. And now let's get some adhesive and place this to or on our little wood plaque here. Okay, in one of my past videos, many of you recommended, I believe, using this E6000 for doing metal and wood, or for gluing them together. So we're gonna give that a try. I've actually had this for a while. And so luckily I was excited when I heard many of you mention it, because I thought I have some and we can give it a try. So I'm going to just place, I'm assuming just a little. And, well, I'll do, how about I do like 6? Is that good? I'm assuming it doesn't take a lot. And then I'm sure it's going to need to set, oh, let's just, because I'm nervous. Okay, let's do that. That looks good. And turn this over. Center it where I'd like. And we'll have just a tad bit of wiggle room. Oh, I think that looks nice though. So I'm just going to press. Make sure I don't wiggle it too much. And then I'm going to just stop fiddling with it so that it will really dry. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take to dry, but it doesn't need to be done this evening. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this off to the side. I'm not going to press down too hard because I do want just a tad bit of dimension there. And I'm just talking just slightly. And I also don't want any glue to like seep out, which I don't think it would because I was pretty lenient, I would say, with I wasn't really putting a ton on. So I love that. I think that that is really pretty. And again, I love that this doesn't need to be taken down immediately after Thanksgiving. This could absolutely be year-round decor. Love it. Okay, you know me, I love to do seasonal teacher gifts. So I had 2 mugs that I had in my stash. Both, I believe, are from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate both of them. They're just a tad different in style. And I was going to go get matching ones, but it's okay that they're different in style, but I just did not have the time this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my handy dandy cup cradle here. I have the designs all ready to go inside, although where is my other little, oh, I just didn't cut them apart. Okay. Slight panic for a second. And even though these aren't really Thanksgiving type colors, how I'm going to decorate them and gift them is a little bit more fall inspired. So I thought that that would be pretty, but I wanted these mugs to be able to be used year round, right? So I decided to use this really pretty teal color, and I will link the font information that I used down below. I paired 2 different fonts that I thought would be very nice together, and I just typed out Blessed Teacher, and I thought that that was so sweet. So I did Blessed Teacher, and then out of a pink vinyl, which you'll see in a moment, I did a little apple because I just love a pink apple. Okay, so let me get this little middle. Wants to be a little stinker. Okay, there we go. Let me get all my little middles out. And what I was thinking is I would do little coffee gift cards because that's just so nice and fun. So I think that's what our little Thanksgiving gift will be. Okay, so there is our little Blessed Teacher. Taking all of these little bits and pieces and keeping them organized. Okay, and then I'll just weed these at the same time and then trim them apart. And then we have cute little apples. Aren't those cute? And I love the color combination. Again, it's not really a fall color combination, but also I just did not have much fall vinyl, the fall inspired colored vinyl. Isn't that silly? I mean, I hardly believe it myself, but you know, I didn't. And the only thing I had was, well, and I've spoken to this before, I find it really hard to find a nice orange that I really like. I find all of the orange vinyl to be very bold and just way too much for me. And I really just want a nice, like a burnt orange. So if you know of a nice burnt orange vinyl, let me know the brand because I would love to have some in my collection. But, you know, everything else is just too bold for me. Just too much. Okay, I have my little designs all ready to go. Can't do a holiday video without spoiling the teachers. Okay, so this will go here, this will go there. We'll trim these little cuties apart. And then before anything else, I'm going to spray down my mug because I want to make sure that it is nice and clean and doesn't have any oils or dust that will prevent the vinyl from laying down perfectly. And really not only laying down perfectly, but from lasting. So it just helps it to lay down and last really nice. Okay, so there we go. Now, of course, when doing adhesive vinyl on mugs, you'll want to opt for a permanent vinyl. And you'll also want to tell your recipient, you'll want to tell them that they want to avoid the microwave and avoid the dishwasher. So this will be something that is hand washed only. Now later in this video, I am going to do a sublimation mug, and I'll tell you about that story later. But the sublimation mug, if you wanted something that was permanent and you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, all of the washing instructions and so on and so forth, then you would want to do sublimation. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, so transfer tape. Here we go. Oh, see, here we go. Vinyl is everywhere. Oh, it'll probably be on the bottom of my socks, and it's just one of those things. Find it everywhere. Okay, front and back. And there we go. Works like a charm every time. Okay, now I want to be mindful of a few things here. First of all, I want to make sure that I give my recipient enough room to sip without their lip touching the vinyl, because as I spoke to in our first craft when we made the tray, vinyl isn't food safe. So you don't really want, you want to be mindful of that when placing it on drinkware and things like that. So you want to make sure you give them enough room to sip without coming into contact with the vinyl, but also being mindful that we also have a little, you know what I'll do? This is so smart. I'm going to do this. I'm going to place this where I want. And I'm just, and it's not, doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm going to place those together. Whoops. And then that way I know where I want, I like the placement of that. That way I know where I want my little apple to go. So that was my next point, is you want to make sure, or I want to make sure here in this particular design, that I am compensating and giving room for that apple. So now I think with that apple there, that still gives plenty of room for some sipping. And I think that looks nice. So we'll do that. And I'm not going to press down the apple because I don't want, well, it doesn't matter because it's still on the cutting sheet. Okay, Bethany. Okay. I was going to say, I don't want it to stick, but it's on the transfer tape, girl. Doesn't matter yet. Okay, or it's on the cutting sheet. Okay, if this is the first video you're ever seeing of me, I'm usually a little bit more put together, but it has been a week, and not only that, but, oops, I got my vinyl in there. It's late at night, so there we go. All right, now we'll just do this. And I just usually very lightly just press that down. There we go. And bring this where I'd like it. I think there's very nice. Yep. Okay. Now, the apple was one of the free, at the time of recording this, it was a free design in Cricut Design Space. And I just look, vinyl. It's just out of control. Oh my goodness, I love crafting, but that gets crazy. Okay, so the apple, freebie from Cricut Design Space at the time of recording this. I'm not sure, if it will remain that way, but it's a pretty basic shape anyway. And then I will link, of course, the 2 fonts that I used, but I think that's super cute. I'll go ahead off camera and finish the second one because it's the exact same process, and then we will continue on crafting, and I'll show you how I'm going to decorate these. Okay, so I have my mugs done. And I've also been holding on to these really neat baskets. Now, I don't have information on these at all because my neighbor, she gifted the girls some really cute fall gifts with these little baskets. And I'm going to just re-gift them because I don't have a purpose for them, even though they're darling. But I wanted to use that idea to gift the teachers. So she gifted these last year. You can find these, I'm sure, anywhere, but I can't tell you exactly where they're from. So I'm just going to place some raffia, if you will, right in here and right in here. How cute is that? Isn't that sweet? And actually, I'm going to turn that over a bit because it's a little crazy on that end. Okay, there we go. And then I thought it'd be cute just to nestle in these little mugs and put the handle kind of through here. Oh, so cute. Okay, so I'll do something like this, and then I will place a little gift card inside. Oh, that's so cute. I'm going to place a little gift card inside of the mugs, and then we'll just gift them like that. Isn't that so sweet? I love it. Okay, so there is a little fall-inspired teacher gift that I think that's going to be really fun. And I love the little baskets. I think they're so cute. Okay, so let's do a little sublimation. I really wanted to make the kiddos some really cute shirts for Thanksgiving. And more importantly, they're probably not going to wear this on Thanksgiving Day for our dinner, but for their school festivities and such. So what I'm going to do is, before I do this, I did purchase some shirts that are good for sublimation. So a quick little reminder about sublimation is that you do need to have a sublimation printer, or there are ways, I guess, to convert printers to sublimation printers, but I use a Sawgrass printer. So I use a Sawgrass sublimation printer, and I use sublimation paper with sublimation ink in order to print these out. And then I use a shirt that is able to receive sublimation. Usually that just means it has a very high polyester count. These are my absolute favorite shirts to use for sublimation. I love them because they are just so fun and girly. They are cute and have a little peplum look to them, and I love the little sleeves. I think they are so fun. So I buy these time and time again. They come in a 2-pack, and I will link them down below. So all of those things are disclaimers. You want to make sure you have a sublimation shirt, you are using sublimation ink with sublimation paper, and then we will go ahead and press these on in just a bit. So I am going to start by just tearing around my design, and this helps when doing sublimation on fabrics, because if you just were to cut around this, you could see the actual harsh start and stop of the paper on your final garment, or if you're doing a pillowcase, you would see it on there too. So you just want to tear very lightly here because it feathers those edges, if you will notice. See how they're just nice and light and feathered? And it just helps to reduce the look of a boxy look around your design. But also be careful that you're not getting too close to your design that you might rip it, because then you'd have to reprint. Okay, so finishing up here. And there we go. So I will go ahead and do that to my second design. And I sized them just a hair different because the t-shirt sizes are just a hair different. So I wanted to make sure that the design just visually fit appropriately for each size shirt that I was doing. But aren't these cute? Now, later in the video, I am going to do a cute turkey mug for myself, because I was thinking that I would do a different turkey on each one, and I will link these designs down below where I found them in case you want to purchase them yourself, because they're so cute. But I purchased 2 different turkeys, and I was going back and forth thinking how cute, because they would coordinate but not necessarily match. But you know, I know my kids. They're both going to want, oops, oh, I almost ripped it. Okay, they're both going to want the turkey with the bow, because it's just adorable, and they're gonna want to match. That's just the way it is. So it's just easier for me as a mama to just let them match. And then, you know what? They have the same shirt. It's just the way it goes. Okay, so I almost ripped that there. I just need to be careful. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to my heat press, and I am going to pre-press my shirt. I'm also going to lint roll to make sure that there's no lint on the surface, and that will prevent any of those blue dots from popping up after we sublimate. And I'm also going to grab some butcher paper, because I'm going to place a piece of butcher paper inside the shirt. I'll place it right inside, in between, and that will prevent the sublimation design from imprinting on the back of the shirt. So it's just going to give a protective barrier in between that shirt. And then I'll place another piece of butcher paper on top after I place my design, in order to just prevent it from bleeding onto my actual press. Okay, so you just want to make sure you sandwich your design perfectly. in order to compensate for any leaking of the ink. You just want to make sure you are protecting both your shirt and your press. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to do this at 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 seconds. Always go ahead and do whatever you have found best for sublimation. Many people do use different times and temps, but that is the one that I personally prefer for this project and these materials. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, look how cute these turned out. Now, I wanted to speak to a few things. Number one, make sure that you open up a window or get really good airflow or ventilation in, because sublimation can be quite fragrant, so you'll want to be mindful of that. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that when this prints, it's going to be really muted, but then once it is heated onto the surface that you're putting it on, it takes on its intended color. So you can see how much of a difference that is. And this is even a little bit more muted since most of it is transferred, or all that needed to be has transferred. But isn't that just so cute? I love this design. It's just so fun. Now, many have asked if you can reuse these, and you can probably get another print out of it, but just know it's not going to be as vibrant as your initial print, right? And some of you might be okay with that. In fact, I'm probably would be fine with that too, because I like a little bit more of a muted look, but just know it's not going to look exactly the same. So another thing that I wanted to speak to is that if you want to use any type of tape to help secure your design to your shirt for pressing, you want to make sure it is heat safe. So I used a heat tape, and I'll link that down below. I'll also link the butcher paper that I use, as well as all the materials, including my printer, down below as well. And then the last thing I wanted to speak to is that I was showing this over by the heat press, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth. You can see there that the ink transferred onto this butcher paper. And I know we love to reuse and save materials, but if you see that your ink has transferred over to your butcher paper, you must throw it away. Because if you were to reuse this, this ink could retransfer onto your next project and ruin that project. So once you see ink on your butcher paper, it's toast. So you have to throw it away. But other than that, I think these turned out so fun. I love the look of them. I love that they're matchy-matchy, and I think they're just going to be so cute for school festivities, and you know, they might even come out on Thanksgiving Day. Who knows? It's always nice to have an outfit change. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next craft. Okay, the next thing I want to do is this really pretty vase for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've had this in my craft room for over a year. I purchased this as well at the Target dollar spot, but this was a $5 item. And the reason why I want to, oh, you see all of the fingerprints. This is why right here, this is why we do the rubbing alcohol. But the reason I want to do this next is because I feel like this design is going to stress me out a little bit and I just want to get it done. So I'm going to take rubbing alcohol and I'm going to remove the dust that has been collected from sitting in my craft room, but also those fingerprints, because both will not help my vinyl lay down very well. And I love to craft with lotion on, or just wear lotion in general. So this just helps remove any of the oils that may have been on my fingers and give us a nice clean surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But then also, ooh, goodness gracious, nothing like a darker paint to make you really see what's going on there. Okay, so get a nice clean surface. And then I found a really cute variety of leaf and pumpkin icons I thought would be so fun to decorate this vase with. So let's go ahead and set this to the side and then bring in my design here. So what I did was I measured around my vase, and I didn't really take into consideration the handle area because I figured it wasn't necessary. So I'm going to, let's see, that way up. So once I had my measurements, then I was able to go into Design Space and create a template for myself so that I would have an idea of how much surface area I was working with. That goes slow there, that little leaf. Now these are a little bit more delicate in nature, but at the size that I cut them at, we should be just fine. Okay. We have a nice variety of little icons here, and I will link these down below. It came in one big pack, but I loved them because they were just, I don't know how to explain it. They were just unique looking and hand-drawn looking, at least. I think they're just really neat. Okay, so I've got all of my outlines here, and then I'm going to go through and weed all of my little middles. Now, if you didn't want to, waste the vinyl in between, then you could just cut out your little designs and then, individually, and not have them placed anywhere specifically, but you could just cut out a variety and then you could decide on your placement as you are designing and placing them down. But I really like the idea of designing in Design Space and then cutting once, having it all ready to go. Okay, so you can see there's a fun little variety of pumpkins and sizes. And then we have, I think, 2 variety of leaves, which are so cute. So I'm going to grab, now that I have one side done, a little magnet. That way this can all stay nice and steady as I finish up weeding all these little middle pieces out. Aren't these so cute? I think they're so fun. I thought it would be really fitting for this fun little vase. So I thought this would be nice if you wanted to put a nice floral arrangement in, either for your own Thanksgiving table, or again, doesn't have to be for Thanksgiving Day. You could just have this as fall decor for the entire season. Or if you are attending Thanksgiving this year and you need a hostess gift, it would be nice to put some flowers in a really pretty vase that you could decorate. You could also personalize the vase with maybe the family's name. That is always a winner. Personalization is just always a winner. People love that. Okay, so I'll finish up weeding all of these little details out, but you can see how this is coming together. It's just so fun. Okay, so call me crazy, but you know what I'm going to do? And I was kind of thinking about this before I even started filming, is that for me, now everyone can approach their craft however way they see fit, because I believe in crafting in a way that makes you feel confident. But I thought what I would do is I'm going to place these down, because as you can see, this angles down, right? And I just feel like putting this all down at once is going to be a headache for me. So what I'm going to do is gasp, right? It's going to be okay. But I'm going to kind of go row by row. Now these aren't exact rows, but they kind of fit in a row type. And I thought it would be easier for me, again, for me, to place these down. Yeah, row by row. I think that's gonna be best for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I burnished that down. Okay, it's gonna be stressful. It's not gonna be stressful. Let's craft with confidence, Bethany. Okay, but I'm kind of stressed out. I'm gonna pull this. Oh, it's stealing focus. Sorry. I'm gonna pull this away, and I'm going to start. Well, let's do this so you can see. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm gonna start here, and I'm just gonna wrap around, being mindful here that I have a little lip to compensate for. Okay, just trimming that away so it doesn't interfere with how I'm going to lay this down. Okay, and then see how it kind of curves down? So I like all of this, but I'm going to trim. Oh goodness. I'm still feeling confident though, so this is how I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna trim that, and then I'm going to, whoa, that's stressful. Hold on, it's gonna be fine. Surgery. You're probably thinking, what is she doing? She's lost it. Okay, I'll be honest, we almost lost that leaf, but it's fine. We are fine. Everything is fine. And I almost did it again. Okay, so the reason was because it was kind of curving down, and it's because it's tapered up, if you will. So I just cut that one off so that I could realign. Whoops, sorry about my head. And place that there. Okay, so now I can go through and place those all down, right? And burnish. Sometimes in crafting, you just make it up as you go, and that's just fine. And sometimes you have to kind of pivot. Okay, tell me where the famous pivot is from. Tell me when they say pivot. I can't say the word pivot without thinking of it. So if you know, put a little leaf emoji in the comments and say where it's from. Okay, that way I'll know that you know. Okay, there we go. So we have our first little line down. I promise this is going to turn out, well, I mean, I guess I can't promise that, but I'm feeling good. So now I'm going to trim my next line, if you will, out. And there we go. So I already burnished the front and back. Let's grab I was handling that a bunch, so making sure that next line is nice and clean. And voila. I love this vinyl. It's just so easy. Okay, then, we're going to, I think, bring down just a little and place. Okay, I like that. I like that. And then you see it kind of starts to curve down. So right there, I'm going to grab, just gonna put a little notch in that. That way it doesn't fall back onto my project. Okay, there we go. Turn. And turn in place. Okay, I think that looks good. Now, when I design stuff like this, I'm always so stressed because when you're designing on a flat rectangle, right? But you have to remember that you are only going to see bits and pieces of it at once. You're not going to see the whole design at one time because you're placing it on a curved surface, right? So it's stressful when doing this part because I'm always thinking, are there too many leaves next to each other? Or is the same pumpkin next to each other? But you just have to forgive yourself and realize that it's not going to matter because once you place it on your actual surface, if you're doing, you know, a vase like this or a cup, you're only going to see portions of the design at the same time. So give yourself some grace and just kind of focus on little sections, making sure, you know, this section is going to all look really nice together. And then of course, this is going to look nice together. And then this will look nice together, right? So I just wanted to share that little bit because designing on a flat area is going to be different than the final look, right? You can give yourself a lot of breathing room because we're just going to see a little at a time. Okay, there we go. Now we can pull away. I really like this method of going line by line. Of course, you don't have to do this, but helped me breathe a little easier, so I'm not regretting it. Okay, and then we have one more to go. So let's peel this away. And aren't they cute? I love the little look of all the little fall icons. Okay, finally we have our final piece. So peeling away, and let's see. I think I'm going to bring it over a little bit and down. Okay, and down. Actually, I already don't like where that pumpkin's going to go, so I'm going to gently peel that up. And I'm going to, now of course this last one, oh, I'm gonna have to do some surgery. This last one is going to be a little harder because we have even more of a curve. Does that make sense? So let me fix this cute little pumpkin that's kind of curling up from being removed, but no problem. If we fixed that leaf, we can surely fix this pumpkin, and we did. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn a little and then space how I want it to go. Actually, I'm going to fix just a tad more, get a nice natural look there. There. There we go. Looks much better. So then maybe I'll do the next couple. Okay, love how that looks. And then, you know what? Those next two look great. So down they go. Okay. So fun. So now, scraper. I think this is cute. I really like it. And then could you imagine with a beautiful bouquet in there? A nice fall bouquet with, you know, you're given a very basic vase, nice and gray with that contrasting white vinyl, but then that allows for the colors of the flowers to be the showstopper because your vase is nice and neutral. Okay, very cute. Now what I may do is after I film, I may go back in fact I know I will. I'm gonna go back in and I will cut out one more little icon for right here because I didn't really compensate for this area. So I'll cut out one more little leaf or pumpkin and plop it right there. And that's why you just always save your design. That way you can go back in and add any little tweaks that you want. But isn't that sweet? I think that's really, really fun. I think that's super nice. It's super simple. I also love that the style of the little icons kind of match the style of the vase, if you will. I think it's so pretty. Okay, let's move on to our next craft. The stressful one is done. Okay, so grabbing my Easy Press Mini, and I'm going to set this to medium. So that's the 2 wavy lines, because I'm going to work on iron-on, and I'm going to do a little iron-on on wood. Now, last week I showed you these cute little acorns, and we made a super fun sign. And I just love how that turned out. Again, if you missed it, check out last week's video for Thanksgiving crafts, because it's just so cute. Now, I found this frame at Dollar Tree. You have, up until this point, seen this frame in white, but recently they came out with a nice kind of wood frame, and I'm here for it. It's so cute. Now, ignore this because we're going to cover it up, but I love these little frames for the frame part, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to first and foremost, oh, does this one not come out? Oh, okay. The other ones, hold on, I have the other one in my craft room, so let me show you. Okay, so the other ones are like this. If you notice on the back, they have the little prongs where you can pop this out and then you can place another backdrop in it, but these do not have that. And there's no way to get that out. So, well, I'm not really digging that, but you know what? You can still use these. You could actually just put, you know, measure this and then place your paper right in there. But I don't know that I'm going to do that, because I don't feel like I am going to get that nice of a snug and clean fit. So because I have this other one in here, I'm just going to use this one. So actually, I'm really happy that I showed you that, because I didn't think, when finding the other one, I didn't think to turn it over and look to see if it had the same installation, right? Of course, I wouldn't have thought to do that. So I'm just going to use my white one. So let's continue just as we normally would. We're going to open this up and pop this out. Measure. We have 5 by 5. So we're going to cover this up with some nice white cardstock. And I just grabbed a piece of 80-pound cardstock because I think that'll be thick enough to really cover the piece. That way we don't see that through it. So I'm going to go just a shy smaller than 5, and then it'll really sit nicely in there. So just a shy smaller than 5 inches by 5 inches. Saving this, we're going to be using this in a little bit to do our place card holders for Thanksgiving dinner. I'll set this to the side as well. And then we have our brand new little piece here. So we'll take it, place it right in. You know what? I'm going to grab my 110-pound cardstock because I can see that design through it. Okay, 110 pound. I just trimmed that down and you cannot see a thing. Okay, so opt for the thicker. I'll link my cardstock down below as well. If you enjoy my card making videos, then you know exactly the cardstock I love. And place that in. Press these down, and what a transformation. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now we have the beautiful wood bead, a very nice white blank slate. So let's bring some color in. So I have this little wooden acorn. I have also some very beautiful iron-on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little tape off that I have. Okay, I'm going to place my acorn there just to get an idea of how much iron-on I need. I'm just going to size it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to grab that piece of 80-pound cardstock that we initially cut that didn't work for this project, because I'm going to use it, have it right here, to help me when I'm pressing. So let me grab my pressing pad. This has turned green, so we are all ready to go. Again, set to medium. And we can start pressing our iron-on onto this little acorn, and then we'll trim it out. It's gonna be so, so sweet. Okay, setting this off to the side. I have my heat mat here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have cardstock underneath because I don't want my iron-on to iron onto my pad. If this irons on anywhere else, I'd rather it iron on to my cardstock. Okay, I'm just going to pre-press my little wood here. That's plenty. And then I will place my iron-on right onto the surface. And it says to do, I think it said 30 seconds, constant movement. I don't know that it will take that long. And you can already see, well, you won't be able to, but I can. I can see the outline of the acorn. Okay, so I'm just going to press that down. I can already see it's already really pressing into that wood. Oh, sorry, I'm quiet for a second. I'm really monitoring. You always want to monitor the project right in front of you. That looks good though. Nowhere near 30 seconds. Okay. And this is why you want to put your project on something other than your mat, because see, it was ironing down and it's no problem because it just went onto my cardstock. So that's completely fine. Okay. So I think that's down. So what I will do is I'm going to really quickly, I'll get my cutting mat out. I prefer not to cut on my glass mat. So some people say you absolutely can. Some people say absolutely not. I just don't do it. So I just always grab my self-healing mat. Also because I kind of just like the feeling of, you know, pressing into the self-healing mat when I'm doing my cutting. It just seems like it feels better to me. But now I'm just going to go around. I'm going to make sure my pressure is where it needs to be. I'm going to go around and cut out my little shape here. Okay, so easy peasy, just going around my acorn. And then when we're done, this is also a good way to allow your iron-on to cool because you're going to want it to be cool in order to peel it up. So it's giving us some time to cut out, but also to let it cool so it lays down successfully. I love doing pattern iron-on on shapes. I think it's so pretty. And I really think this is going to be pretty. So if you watched last week's video, you know of another way to use these little acorns from Dollar Tree. And now I'm just going to turn that over. I'm going to start kind of peeling away and just seeing where I need to, you know, do a little bit more trimming. Because naturally you may miss some spots just because you might not have as even pressure. Oh, look, it's going to be cute. Okay, a little bit more there. Okay. So this is the last video before Christmas crafting. Who is excited for Christmas crafts? I am so excited. It's going to be good this year. I love the ideas that are coming to my craft table. And I think it's going to be a fun year of crafting for Christmas. So there we go. And oh, we're so close. Okay, I think we got it. Now we want to gently find a little piece of our liner, and you may even use very gently your weeding tool just to get a little piece of that clear liner. Okay, found it. And you're going to peel that liner off, leaving your iron-on your wood piece. Isn't that pretty? Now, one thing that I'm going to do, actually, do I need to? I was going to say usually I'll take, you know, a piece of, actually this will work because we don't have any additional iron-on overlapping or going over the edge. So what I'll do, now I don't think this is necessary for the project in front of me because I don't think that, actually I'm going to sandwich this. I don't think that I have any areas lifting, but you can go ahead and just place something over your iron-on. And if you found that any of your edges were lifting during that peeling up process, just go ahead and press it back down. And I don't want to overheat mine though, because I don't want to ruin the iron-on, but look how cute that is. Isn't that fun? I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna grab some hot glue and we will finish this up. Okay, grabbing my little hot glue llama here and making sure I have enough hot glue to fit the job here. So I am simply, I like to keep it simple. I'm simply going to glue my little acorn right in here. And you know, I think I'll just do it nice and straight. I'm really liking that. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some of these little wood half circles that I have because I want this to be more dimensional. So I'm going to add some hot glue to these little wood pieces. I think I need it to warm up just a hair more. There we go. And I'm just going to add some height to the back. So use whatever you have. I literally just looked behind, found the closest thing that I thought would work. You also, because there are so many that come in this pack of acorns from Dollar Tree, you could absolutely just layer them on one on top of the next and just build up some height. And that would be a wonderful idea as well. I actually gave the extras to my kiddos to have fun with, and they colored them, and that was fun too. So I don't have any extras, but I think, there we go. That is way too cute. I love that. And it's not quite flush with that frame, so it's still nestled in there, but it just gives it a little bit more height, which I think dimension can be really, really nice. Okay, placing that down, centering. We have a little bit of grace with that hot glue to wiggle around. I think that looks nice. And of course you could tilt it if you like, but I love that. I think that looks really, really nice. Just a very simple, fun piece of decor. You could use this to decorate a little tiered tray, or you could just have this, you know, by a sink. You could put this in a little powder room. I love little things like this because it's just so easy. But again, this does not have to be Thanksgiving specific. You could keep this all season long, all fall season. I think that's just so fun and pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next few crafts. Okay, speaking of Dollar Tree, I found this really pretty acorn at Dollar Tree. It's one of those slatted signs once again, but I applied a little bit of chalk paint. It came in this bare natural wood, and I applied some chalk paint just to give it a nice fresh look. And I also have some little letters. I think these are from Hobby Lobby. I've had them for a while, but I thought it would be fun to just place Hello Autumn and just spell that out on this really pretty frame. Now, I will mention, I'm gonna go with a natural wood here. I tried to branch out. I tried to paint with some orange chalk paint, and it started just not looking how I wanted it to look. Now, that's very fun. I don't know. I like the natural wood. So you can paint these letters. I wanted to give it a try. Trying to try new things every once in a while, but respectively knowing what is my style and what's not. And I love a little bare wood with a nice white backdrop. I think that's just so pretty. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm also going to compensate for placing a little ribbon on here. So let me grab the ribbon. Okay, I do like a little mint look. I think that's so pretty. So let's put that to the side, and let's do the bow first because we want to know how much room we have to work with for the letters. So what I think I'll do here is let me kind of measure what I'm thinking. I think that's probably good. So I'm going to do, and I'll get some measurements for you. I'm going to do, ooh, that is just over 12 inches. So let's say 12 inches. And I'm going to do that 2 times. So we'll do 12 inches twice. Okay. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to place some hot glue on one little side. This is how you build a bow. Well, this is how I build a bow. There's a million different ways, but this is how I like to do it. I'm going to take that other side, fold it down onto it, and press. Okay? Careful not to burn your fingers, but if you line it up just right too, if you have a patterned ribbon, of course, then it looks super nice. Okay? So I'll set this up here and off to this, off out of the way, and then we're going to repeat the same thing with our second one. And this is if you wanted to kind of have a little bit more of a full bow. Of course, you can buy bows, but if you have some ribbon that you really like, then now you know kind of how to do your own. Okay, so those look good. Again, same size, 12 inches, and then I overlapped probably about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now I'm going to grab, let's do 4 inches. Okay, that should be fine. And what I'll do here is I'm going to fold into thirds. I think that'll be nice for the size of my bow. This will probably be different in size depending on what kind of bow you are doing and what size of bow you're doing. But I think that'll work nicely for the size of bow in front of me. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to take my 2 pieces that I created. I like to have the seam in the center. So, and then on the back. Does that make sense? So I have my seam on the back. Okay. And then I'm going to pinch, and don't worry just yet. It all comes together. I'm going to pinch. Whoops. This is where you wish you had more than one, or more than two arms. Okay, so keep it pinched, and we're going to hot glue. Now, trust me, the hot glue really does, it holds steady. In fact, I was trying to remove a little hot glue from one of my projects, or I'm sorry, I was trying to remove a bow from one of my projects because I was kind of just over the project, but I really wanted to keep the ribbon. Oh my goodness. It's not coming off. It was strong on there. Okay, so hold on. It was really strong, and so don't worry about this coming apart. Because even when you want to intentionally take it apart, it doesn't want to. Okay, now I guess it doesn't matter where the seam goes, because if you wrap it a few times, you know, you're never going to know where it is. So glue that down, and then let's let that dry. I'm going to, be careful. There we go. Just get that extra off. Now we have, oh, be careful of if you have wire, be careful of those. They are so pokey. Don't hurt yourself like I potentially just did. Now, you can have your bow like this, which I think is so cute. And I think, final answer, I think I'm going to do that bow. I need to slide that over just a little bit. Or you can fluff it. Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna have to do that. You can fluff it so that some of it comes up, some of it comes down, and voila. Oh, that's cute too. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, now I kind of got it a little bit, I feel like like there's a little bit more on this side than this side, but I think we're gonna be fine. Now what I think I'll do is I'm gonna apply my bow down first. Isn't that cute? And then once it's down, I'll fluff it some more. So I'm going to put my bow right here. Now this is what I'm talking about. I had a bow like this on a piece of wood and I was trying to remove it. She was on there. So this is why I love hot glue. So now you can continue to kind of fluff. Do you see how you can kind of just push those little pieces up? And I like the back ones to be a little bit flatter. In fact, for this piece, I might even keep them all a little bit flatter, but isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. Okay. And I love the soft mint with the bare wood and the white. it's totally me. So now you're probably wondering here that this little autumn is not fitting at all. So what I was thinking we could kind of just layer them. And I thought that that would just be a fun little look. Now I have to remember kind of how I wanted to do that. I think, let's see, what was I going to do? I think I was going to do something like maybe that. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the hello first. That's the easy one. That's the easy one. Now I'm going to let's just say goodbye to this for a second because I like the placement here. This looks nice. Let's bring in a ruler. I think that will be helpful. Ooh, this is getting to be a long video, but you know what? You can always come back later if you want to finish. I do that all the time when I'm watching my favorite crafters. Sometimes I watch one video all week long, especially because I watch videos late at night. So then all of a sudden I'm asleep and have to catch the rest the next day. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I think, am I straight? Oh, I'm not. There we go. It wasn't even straight. Okay. Yep. That looks great. So I am going to, I like the placement of all of them. I think it looks great. I think it looks great. So I'm going to start with this little L. In fact, I'm going to make sure, yep, that's good. And I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue. And you know what? I'm going to speed this up because you get what I'm going to do, right? Just glue them down. Okay, so I decided just to kind of nestle this little A in here. And I think that is so cute. Oh my gosh. That turned out so sweet. I love that. I was kind of debating on what to do with this. I think it's so cute. Now I'll have to remove all my little strings and easy peasy. They come off so easy. But I think this is so fun. I love the look of it. I think it's so sweet. I didn't end up propping the A up, but I liked how it's kind of nestled there, and I just think it looks really fun, and I can't wait to display this. So easy. You can probably even find letters at Dollar Tree. I can't remember, but I'm sure they have them. But I've had these little letters in my stash for so long, and so I'm glad that I was able to find a blank that was very affordable, but also use some craft items that I already had, and then that bow just really tied it together. So I hope you enjoyed this because I surely love how this turned out. And again, you can keep it up all season long and not worry about having it only up for Thanksgiving. Okay, let's do it. Let's sublimate a mug. So I'm going to bring out my mug press, turn it on, and we will let that go ahead and heat up. So I have a sublimation mug, just like we were talking about with the shirts that we did sublimation on. You want to make sure that you have a mug that you can do sublimation on. This is not just any mug. It has a specific coating on it that is able to receive the sublimation. So I have a sublimation mug that I'm going to use, and then this is the little turkey design that I was talking about for the shirts. I was going to have one of the girls have this design and then the other have another design, but I knew both of them would really love the bow, but I loved this. So I thought I need it for myself. So I'm going to make my own little mug. So you saw me doing the ripping method for the shirts, but that is because I was doing it for fabric. Now for a mug, now of course you could do a lot of designs on here so that you're not wasting your sublimation paper, but I did not have any other sublimation projects to do at this time, so I am wasting a little bit of paper, but I'm okay with it. You can cut around your designs for mugs. So I do all the ripping for fabrics, but cutting for a ceramic mug is just fine. So I have my two designs because I'm going to do the design on the front and the back because it's so darn cute that I want to be able to enjoy it on the front, but I also, if I'm having coffee with someone, they can enjoy it on the other side while I'm sipping. Okay, so how sweet are they? And I'll link everything that you see down below. I love my mug press, but also I'll link the designs, and if I can find this exact mug, I'll link it, but I can also link other mugs that work just fine as well. But I like this nice tall one because I like a little bit more coffee. So usually I use a lint-free cloth to clean off the surface of my mug, but since I cannot find it, I will use a lint roller, which you can use as well. So I'm going to just lint roll the surface of my mug to make sure there's no lint, and that will help us avoid the blue dots. Okay, now what I'll do is I'm going to grab, that looks good. I'm going to grab my cup cradle and let's place our designs on. So I'm going to use my heat tape. Okay, you want to make sure you have a heat tape. Don't just use any tape. And you can kind of see, now you can't, but I can see through my design so that I can, let's see, how is it supposed to be? Kind of flat like that, so that I can position it how I want to. Sorry, I was quiet there for a second. Okay, I think that looks good. So when I have it how I'd like it, I can tape it down. Oh, perfect timing. We're about ready. Tape, tape, and then I will do the same to the other side, making sure that's nice and tight. Again, same as I mentioned before, you'll want to make sure you open up a door, window. It can be quite fragrant. So be sure to have some ventilation and airflow. Okay. And then this little one will go right here. Now, it doesn't really matter on this design, but usually you'll want to mirror your design. If you have a directional design, like words or something like that, you want to mirror your design. My Sawgrass software automatically mirrors my design for me, which I love. It's one less thing for me to think about. But again, in this case, it doesn't matter because either way, This would be adorable. Now I'm going to grab my butcher paper. So I cut 3 pieces of butcher paper, and I'm going to surround my design with those 3 pieces. Now I need to make sure that they are the right length. So I got the width right, or roughly. So let me get this trimmed down. Okay, so I have my 3 layers of butcher paper. I'll link the butcher paper that I like to use for sublimation down below. So I have those all ready to go. Now I'm going to wrap them around my mug. And the reason why I'm doing this is similar to how I did it with the shirts. So I'm going to, or similar to why, excuse me, I'm going to do this to protect the inside of my mug press in case any of that ink comes out, right? Because if it comes out and gets onto the inside of my mug press, it will then imprint that design onto my next project. And that's no fun. Plus it would kind of ruin your press. So, or probably ruin your press. I'm not sure. I always do my butcher paper so that I don't find out. So, covering my design, and I like to go tape down one side, then I let it kind of fall, and then I really wrap tight and then tape down the other side. So there we go, and it's ready to go into the press. So what I'm going to do now, making sure it's nice and tight. Some people like to tape around the top lip and the bottom. I've never found that to be an issue for me, so I personally don't. But I'm going to tilt as I put it in so that it doesn't snag the paper. So tilt, place in. I'm going to make sure that I hold on to that little, I like to hold on to the handle for a second, and then press down. So you will see 5 little lights here. One is lit up right now, but it's going to progressively light up, and then when all the lights are all lit, then it will be all done. And it'll do a little chime as well to signal that it's all done. Okay, so it is all done. I am going to go ahead and remove it, but I'm going to hold it until I get my heat protective surface because it is very hot. Okay, being very careful, I'm going to go ahead and peel away with some tweezers my tape. Now it's very, very hot, so you want to be very, very careful. And I'm going to reveal the layers, not yet the design. Okay, and then grabbing my tape, I can peel off and ready. Here she is. Isn't she cute? Oh my goodness, she's so cute. I love her. I don't know why she's a girl. Well, she's a girl. She's cute and pink. Okay, so boys can wear pink too. But she looks really, really girly to me. So this side. Oh, sorry, it's kind of awkward for me to put that up to the camera because I don't want to get too warm or anything on my hand, but oh goodness. I'll use my tweezers as a little helping hand. How cute is this? I love it. That is a really cute mug for Thanksgiving. For the whole season. I think she's cute and I love the colors. I love it so much. This is so cute. I'm glad I did a double-sided mug because I love that you can see it from both sides. I think that's just darling. What do you think? I'm glad that I was able to still use this design, even though I decided not to do it on one of the girls' shirts. I think it's so cute for Mama. Okay, let's finish off strong with making our last craft of the evening, and we are going to make some little place card holders. And I thought this would be just beautiful for Thanksgiving. Now, using the same letters that I found, I think they're from Hobby Lobby, I thought it would be cute just to do our initials. So I have our little initials here, and then I have this really pretty paper pack from Simple Stories, and I don't know if the video that I made the card video that I made has come out yet, where I used this paper pack to create some really cute cards for the teachers. Let me grab them because they're gonna go with the mugs I just did. Okay, so we have our cute mugs, right? But I made these cards that I'm going to place with these cute little baskets. I thought they'd be so fun. I don't remember if this video's come out yet. If it has, then I hope you enjoyed. And if not, then there's something for you to look forward to. But I used and was inspired with this paper pack to create super, super quick and easy cards that just turned out stunning. I'm still in love with these. So I thought it would be fun and just pretty for the table to use some patterned paper. So I'm going to grab a variety. I thought everyone's could be different. I definitely want to use this. And I'm going to really quickly just go through whatever my eye catches is going to, I'm going to use that side, is going to come out and we're going to use it. I also think I'll use this mustard and, oh, I like this. See here. Actually, that is pretty. Again, it caught my eye. And I think everything is in duplicates, so you don't have to feel too guilty because you can use, okay, I'm trying to see, or you'll have an extra one. And we're not using much of this paper, so I'm trying to see what colors I already have. I don't know about that one. This is so cute. I think I'll bring in the orange. Yeah. The orange it is. So this is the orange, just because I really like that. Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now last week you saw I did the beautiful candle holder that holds 16 candles for the middle of our Thanksgiving table. So if you missed that, that was last week's video, or in that video, that was 8 crafts last week for Thanksgiving. I also have this beautiful decorative brads set, and it's the coordinating set that goes with the paper. I set this aside. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use it on these, but I have that and we'll see if we end up using them. So let's trim down. I need to set this aside. I need to bring in my paper trimmer first and get everything trimmed down. Okay, I'm going to use some 80-pound cardstock for my actual place card. And it's just going to be a little A-frame card, right? Just kind of like a card base would be. And let's see if I have enough here because I want these to measure, and I do have enough. 5 inches. So I'm going to do 5 inches. Okay, by 2.5. So I have my 5 inches, and then I'm going to do 2.5. Is that right? That should be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that is right. Okay, 2.5. I need to grab more paper. And 2.5. Another. You know what I'll grab is I'll grab that 110-pound that I used for that frame we just did with the iron-on Acorn, because it doesn't matter that they all match in weight, but I don't want to waste paper. So here is that 110 pounds. So again, we have 5 inches. And it's all going to look the same anyway. We'll just need 2 more. So 2.5 and 2.5. Then we're going to take our pattern paper and, okay, we're going to save our scraps. We're going to trim this down to 2 inches by 2 inches squared. Okay, so 2 inches. This is all going to be scraps, so we're really not using much. 2 by 2. So I'll trim down the rest of my pattern paper to 2 by 2, and that'll be our little decorative piece. These are going to be cute. They're going to be simple but cute. So if you needed to make a bunch of these, if you're having a large gathering, then this is the idea for you. Now, last year I just said I was going to speed this up, but I have to tell you because I forgot. Last year, was it last year or the year before? It might have been the year before. I did foil place cards. So pretty. And I use my Cricut to do that with the foil tool. So if you need help on doing that, then I will link that video up in the corner for you, up in the upper right. Or you can search my channel for foil place cards and it will pop up as well. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to set my scraps and my trimmer to the side. I'll organize these later and bring in my Score Pal to help build my little bases. Okay, so remember these were 5 inches by 2.5. So we can go ahead and place this in our little Score Pal and we will score at 2.5. That way we can make a perfect little square. So scoring at 2.5, set to the side, score at 2.5, set to the side, and I'll continue building. Now I will bring in my bone folder, fold, and press down, and fold and press down. Okay, now I did fold just now my 110 pound versus 80 pound, and honestly, I mean 110 pound is always going to be nicer, right? But I really think, you know, if you only had 80 pound cardstock, you're just fine. You really are. Okay, so let's open up all of these cuties. I'm just going to use tape runner because these are just going to need to make it. Well, we have little kids, so how long does it take little kids to eat Thanksgiving dinner? 6 minutes. So they're going to need to last 6 whole minutes. So tape runner it is for these cuties. Okay, so let's just disperse and then I'll decide who gets which one because they all have their own little personality, right? So as mommy of the family, I know who is going to go giddy over which paper. Oh, that's cute too. Darn, I forgot about that side. That's super fun. Okay, let's just put these down. I love this paper. It's a good purchase. I'll link again, as always. Everything will be organized by craft down in the description box below. And if you are still here watching the final craft of 9 whole crafts, let's see, what do we want to do? Oh, leave a turkey. Leave the turkey emoji. That is so cute. Oh, look at the little, that's so cute too. See, you can't go wrong. You just can't. I'm flipping it. I'm gonna do the little jars. That's so cute. Make your own rules. I just switched to the last minute, but that's so cute. Okay, leave a turkey emoji if you're still watching, and you all are superstars. Okay, let's see. I know who's going to want each one. No brainer. Let's see. Well, this is me. I'll just have whatever's left over because I'll be happy no matter what. I'll be happy that all my family's happy. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that and that. Okay, so now I'm just going to do hot glue. So do whatever adhesive you would like, but I'm just going to do a hot glue. Just a little, just needs to be just a little. Place it right in the center. And you know, I was thinking about bringing in those little decorative pieces, but I'm not going to. As I see these little wooden pieces, and again, you could paint these, but you know me, I like this simple, and I love the natural wood. It makes me so happy. It's just my style. You absolutely could, that's cute, add some more decorative brads, but I think simple for me is just these beautiful letters right on this beautiful pattern paper, and I love it. Okay, there we go. And finally, go to the other side. Doesn't take much, so don't feel like you need to cover the entire back of that letter. How cute are these though? Oh my goodness, I love them. Okay, so I'll link the cardstock, the paper pack. I probably won't find the letters, but they're wooden letters. You can find them anywhere. And here we go. We have the final piece to our Thanksgiving table all ready to go. That is way too cute. I adore it. Okay, this video was long. I'm not going to bring in all of the crafts that we did because I don't want to keep you any longer than I need to, but I love how everything turned out. Everything's so cute, from the shirts that we did for the girls. We did the beautiful autumn sign with the cute little bow. That was just adorable. I almost think we saved the best for last. I love the little place cards. And the teacher gifts, we just did so many things, plus that cute little mug. I still have it over here cooling. The cute little mug for Mama. I love it. Please be sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. I wish you the happiest Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving and if you do a nice meal. And I hope to see you all in the next video because it's time to start Christmas crafting and I am so excited. Be sure to let me know which was your favorite craft down below in the comment section. Don't forget to leave your little turkey emoji if you are staying until the very end, and I will see you all in the next video.